I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site. The cleanup begins. How much will the monster storm impact Wall Street?
Global equity markets may be taking a breather, but a biotech and social media pioneer are seeing red. Will Oncomed do away with its cancer stem cell drug? And why are key executives leaving Twitter? Is it a sign of things to come?
Welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. The weekend blizzard along the East Coast could have a relatively small economic impact, up to $850 million. Experts say because the storm hit on a weekend and there weren't any major power outages, that means there was little lost for government and for businesses. Well, coffee machine maker Keurig Green Mountain says it's working to make K-Cups more recyclable. The company pledged 2 years ago to convert to recyclable K-Cups by 2020. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds. Even if the K-Cups were made from recyclable plastic, they can't be sorted out by the MRF machinery because they're too small. Quicksilver Resources was sold for $245 million on the auction block. A Tulsa firm bought Quicksilver's assets after the energy company that became one of the faces of the Barnett Shale before falling into bankruptcy last year. Well, lots of small cap companies making news today. Here's a look in today's Small Cap Wrap. Anworth Mortgage Board added 5 million shares to its buyback program. Cheniere Energy seeking $2.6 billion to refinance an LNG import plant. Del Taco Restaurants has seen the lockup expire on its shares. Escalade Sports purchased Triumph Sports, no terms disclosed. Houghton Mifflin may be ready to rebound, according to Barron's. Inland Real Estate says DRA Growth reported an 11% stake in the company. And Lexicon Pharma selling a facility for $21 million. VernetX's patent trial versus Apple gets underway today. Well, David Einhorn's Greenlight Capital poised to appoint a director at SunEdison following a collapse in the solar power company's stock price and the departure of some senior executive. That's according to people familiar with the matter. The agreement, which could be announced this week, would give Greenlight a greater say on one of its most problematic investments. SunEdison has slashed jobs, sold assets, and raised new debt amid a sharp decline in its share price since July. That's fueled investor concerns about its liquidity and the durability of its business model. And shares of Grubhub jumped more than 8.5% after the company authorized a $100 million stock buyback program and said it plans to negotiate terms of a credit facility up to $200 million to increase its financial flexibility and aggressively pursue growth opportunities. Grubhub also pre-announced fourth quarter sales results, which were slightly above expectations. It's anticipating revenue at the high end of the $98 to $100 billion range. Shares of Grubhub have been down 38% over the last 3 months. Shares of Oncomed are in the red today. Independent investigators said its pancreatic cancer drug is unlikely to succeed in a mid-stage study. The small cap biotech getting slammed on this news, but is this the end for Oncomed's drug?
Hi Jane, Oncomed hit the pause button on a phase 2 study of Trextumab. Now, the Data Safety Monitoring Board alerted Oncomed that the drug may have a clean safety profile, but patients were observed with worsening response rates. Findings from the board showed a strong trend toward a lack of benefit for overall survival. Now, shares of the small cap are down over 45% on Monday. Oncomed says it will unblind the trial. It plans to analyze and verify the data from the independent investigation. The company will also provide updated survival data in a few weeks. Now, the data will be from a mid-stage study that paired Trextumab with chemotherapy.
Oncomed has key partnerships with Big Pharma. What's the deal with Trextumab?
Oncomed and GlaxoSmithKline collaborate on Trextumab. The Alpine pancreatic cancer trial is part of the alliance that was formed back in 2007. Now, Redwood City-based Oncomed Pharma and GlaxoSmithKline formed a strategic alliance to develop stem cell antibody therapeutics to treat pancreatic cancer. GSK has an option to license the drug through the end of proof-of-concept phase 2 trials, and Oncomed is eligible to earn milestone payments of up to $1.4 billion. Separately, Oncomed has a collaboration with Celgene. Now, reports from an early pancreatic cancer study of Demsizumab were announced. While the results were positive for the early-stage study, a controlled randomized trial could harken different results. A phase 2 trial is being conducted with complete results expected in 2017.
Does Oncomed have competitors in the pancreatic cancer space? How promising are the other treatments?
Oncomed's candidate lineup includes antibody drugs that target proteins on cancerous stem cells. Trextumab is also in mid-stage trials for testing in lung cancer. As for competitors of the drug that aim to treat pancreatic cancer, one biotech called Pharmasite developed a technology known as cell-in-a-box. It does go without saying that pancreatic cancer is a dreaded disease, and it's difficult to diagnose and even harder to treat. There are usually no symptoms at the early stages and is hard to detect during a routine physical exam. As for Pharmasite Biotech's technology, cell-in-a-box encapsulates live cells that can be implanted to perform a specific function within the body. When the treatment converted ifosfamide into a cancer-killing form, it maximizes effectiveness of the drug. Now, ifosfamide in its active form is usually delivered intravenously and then activated in the liver. Most of the drug does not make it to the pancreas through this method. To deliver a dose big enough to make a dent in a tumor, there are many side effects. The cell-in-a-box approach inserts encapsulated P450 producing cells near the tumor. So this means less of the drug is necessary to produce a response. Earlier this month, Pharmasite Biotech raised an additional $1 million for the clinical trial.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight.
Can't stop me now.
Come on, Serena.
Can't stop me now. You don't want me. Can't mess with this.
Back to the top. Here we go.
You don't want me.
4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Social media company Twitter seeing key executives leave headquarters. Several top executives are departing as the company tries to revive growth. What's behind the exodus of top-level executives?
It's official, 4 key executives will be departing Twitter. CEO Jack Dorsey announced on Sunday night that its engineering chief, product head, HR vice president, and media head are leaving. 2 new board members will be appointed this week to help the company through its turnaround. Dorsey addressed media reports and praised the 4 executives departing the company and says he is sad to announce their departures. COO Adam Bain would be taking on additional responsibilities on an interim basis, and CTO Adam Messenger will also be assuming some responsibilities. Now, user growth and engagement for the microblogging site are at a standstill. Ad sales have been growing, but it's the number of active users that continue to disappoint, especially when compared to its competitors. Twitter has about 320 million active users versus Facebook with 1.5 billion. Instagram boasts 400 million users.
Twitter shares are trading below the IPO price, and 2 new board members will be appointed to help the company during its turnaround. How are recent initiatives working, and what is the near-term outlook?
That's right, Jane. Shares are off over 50% in the past year. Twitter's growth has also slowed. And former CEO Dick Costolo left the company last July. Dorsey returned, but not much has happened since the hyped-up move. Back in October, during a conference call, Dorsey talked of hiring and investing in talent and the need for bold rethinking. Dorsey, who is also CEO of financial services tech company Square, has yet to lay out a detailed plan of what he wants Twitter to do differently. And since his return, Dorsey launched Moments, laid off 300 workers, and hired former Google executive Omid Kordestani as executive chairman.
Well, there have been Twitter takeover rumors swirling around. Is it even feasible for the social media company to get scooped up at this point?
While there have been murmurs, it would not be cheap or easy. Granted, Dorsey has been back for only a few months. But even with the current valuation, it would not be a cheap buy. There's still the question of how to boost growth and position Twitter for mainstream users. After the executive departure announcement, Twitter was downgraded to hold from buy at Stifel Nicholas, and SunTrust Robinson and Pivotal slashed their price targets to $26 and $34 respectively.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Well, lots of activity in today's buy, sell, hold action. Black Hills raised to outperform at BMO. Crestwood Equity Partners cut to neutral at Robert Baird. Integris was raised to overweight at Pacific Crest. International Flavors and Fragrances cut to hold at Steeple. Capstone cut to underperform at Macquarie. Poly One was cut to gradually accumulate at Wellington Shields. Power Solutions cut to neutral at Piper Jaffray. Quality Systems raised to overweight at Piper Jaffray. Thor Industries cut to hold at Wellington Shields. Thanks for joining us on Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.